Hi there. Hi, everybody. Welcome to day 5 of the Body Reboot. It's lovely to see so many of you are still here. And for the new people, welcome. So remember, you can always go back and you can listen to the previous day's lives and get all the notes. And you can obviously do the daily do at the very bottom of each day. There'll be a daily do, which is just things that you are encouraged to do. So yesterday, when we spoke about hydration, the idea was that everybody would try and increase their water intake for the day. So that wasn't extra coffee or extra tea. It was literally just fresh water. And ideally you want to be getting in about 8 glasses of that a day. So just fresh water. And when you wake up in the morning, it's best just to have a glass of water straight away. So if you've got it next to your bed, make it super convenient. We also spoke about infused water, just to make your water a little bit more tasty, making a jug of water the night before and infusing it with some citrus or fruits that you prefer, things of your favorite types of fruit, and with a pinch of salt. And you just leave it in the fridge overnight and the next day sip it through the day. Obviously with other fresh water is great, but sometimes just plain old water can just get a bit dull, so the infused water is wonderful. Okay, so today though, we're talking about sleep, we're talking about stress management, and we're talking about the big cortisol, which is our not favorite hormone. Although, to be fair, it is something that is essential and we need it, and it does a great job in our body, but sometimes too much of it plays havoc. So, shall we jump into what is cortisol? What does it do in your body? Where does it come from? Why do we need it, etc.? Okay. So cortisol is a hormone in your body, and actually what happens is they call it your stress hormone, and we always look at stress as a bad thing, so a negative thing, but actually it is there to help us in times of stress, so physical stress. Okay, so back in the day when we used to run around in our cave and we used to hunt animals, many years ago, the fight or flight mechanism was most important for survival. So what happens is when you suddenly get a fright or you need this burst of energy to run somewhere, the adrenal glands will actually release the cortisol into your body, and that will give you, which I'll explain now, the energy to do what you need to do, which is, in those days, it was run very fast, far away. These days, what happens is we might be in a state of stress. And the problem is that we are in a state of stress of the adrenaline is there, the cortisol has now been released. And then what actually happens is the cortisol then tells the liver it's time to release that glucose. The glucose is in the blood, and the glucose is obviously your energy. So the glucose is there, it sends it off to all the cells and the muscles, and you are ready to run, except we're not running anywhere. And so then, of course, we've got all this glucose in the blood, and then the body says, the pancreas says, oh, we need some more insulin. So the insulin is in the blood, and it's actually quite a vicious cycle. And then, as I was saying earlier in the week, with this amount of extra glucose is not going into the cells, that's insulin resistance. We've got the cortisol who's saying we need more glucose, and the body's saying, well, I'm not going anywhere. I'm just going to sit here and be stressed. And so then what happens is that is then stored in your body, and it's stored as fat. And that is what you see around your gut. And that is very bad, and it's very unhealthy. So why is this happening? Well, this is because we have nowhere to run to, first of all, but we are incredibly stressed. Our lifestyle these days, the lives that we actually live, is so go, go, go. And we are expected to manage all things, especially women. You're expected to look after your kids, run your household, make sure that everything runs smoothly regarding the kids and homeworks and college and dogs and cats and what have you, other pets you might have. As well as that, often women are working from home, online, or they go out of the home and they have a job outside of the home. And those extra outside stresses are then brought in. But you know, what happened at work and what have you, you're not venting to your family. So the stress is retained in. And then there could be things, you know, around the house that might just cause you some kind of stress. Example today, when my son went to shower, and he put on the water in the shower and just closed the shower door while the flow running. And then he went to open the shower door and it had actually got itself jammed. And I could hear him banging on this. And I thought, what is he doing? And then he yelled and he said whatever he was saying. And so when I went up to check, the door was actually stuck. And I could see all the steam, right? But luckily he was outside of the shower. Now this is obviously a stress. It's these kind of things that we have to manage as well as everything else. So what I'm going to show you today is, or speak about today, is how we can manage that cortisol. How do we manage that stress? And how do we make sure we get a good night's sleep? Because a good night's sleep is a wonderful medicine for us. Remember when you were small, or when you weren't feeling well, or you were not feeling great, and your mom would always say, go and have a little lie down, you'll feel better. That's what we need as moms, as women in menopause and perimenopause. We also need that little stress and have a great night's sleep. So you'll find with cortisol, back to the cortisol, that you could get increased body fat, especially around your belly. Your blood sugar obviously spikes. You get the cravings, the same problem, too much glucose in the blood. What's going to happen? You're going nowhere, you're doing nothing. So the cortisol the cortisol level is raised, and then of course it's converted in, the glucose is converted and it is stored as fat. Your metabolism, when you are stressed, often the idea is that you should go outside and do some exercise. It would be great to just get a walk in or go to the gym or do whatever you like to do. Unfortunately, lifestyles, again, it isn't always conducive. Sometimes maybe the weather is not great. We're very busy. We don't have time. And so we don't make the time to go and do the exercise, which actually will help to release that. Okay, so the exercise is exactly what you need. And I don't mean a HIIT workout. I just mean a walk. You know, go for a walk for 10, 15 minutes, lots of lovely breathing. That's how you can lower your cortisol. You lower the stress levels, and then the body stops producing the cortisol because it knows we're not running anymore. We don't need to go anymore. So we don't need the cortisol. Therefore, we don't need the glucose. We can all just calm down. Okay, so you might also find that because your body is in this fight or flight mode with the cortisol, right, more inflammation will actually occur. And on top of that, poor mood, brain fog, because you're not sleeping properly, it obviously impacts your memory, it impacts your focus, your emotional resilience. All right, so those are all the not great things. But remembering we do need the cortisol, because we do need that, we do need to get up and do things. And that little bit of positive stress is great, but then the cortisol level needs to be brought right down. We can't be in this high level of stress all the time, because the cortisol is just flowing. And as I said, we're doing nothing with it. Okay, so the best thing you can actually do as the day ends, when things are quieter, kids have gone to bed, is try and reset your stress response, and then try, therefore, to improve your own sleep. So I would suggest that you try and set yourself a wind down routine. Now, I'm not going to tell you to switch off your screens and put away your phone. Clearly, those are things that you probably know that you should do. But I'm saying signal to your body that, listen, now it's time for us to relax. So whatever that might be in your house. So you may, when you are done doing all your little household duties and now it's wind down time, your wind down time might be just to relax and watch your evening show. It might be getting out your book, reading a chapter, having a cup of tea in a quiet corner, or with your partner, just calm. That's a great way to wind down, right? You don't have to go and put yourself somewhere far away from everybody. You just, something that signals to your body, oh, I'm having tea now. Oh, I'm getting my book. This is time to calm down, right? So also avoiding caffeine. So caffeine affects people differently. Some people are affected by one cup of coffee, which sometimes has, anything around about 80 grams of caffeine. But other people are actually not affected. And in fact, like coffee, the coffee bean, which has the caffeine, affects some people. And sometimes people who have tea, normal tea, there's obviously caffeine in tea as well, unless you're having green tea. But the caffeine in the tea can be equally bad for you. So just keep your eye on that. And remember that a lot of people think, oh, I'm having tea, so I'll be fine. And then wonder why they don't sleep so well. It can absolutely be the caffeine in the tea. So perhaps think of a herbal tea before you go to bed rather. That would definitely be a lot better. Reducing your screen time in the evening. I know when you've worked a full day and you've had your dinner, there's nothing nicer than watching your favorite show, being on your phone, scrolling away, looking at a bit of YouTube, Instagram. Perfect. Of course you should do that. Why not? You deserve that. But then there must be a cut-off time. So let's say you say to yourself, all right, I'm watching my show, dinner's at 7, I'm watching my show from like, let's say, I don't know, 8 to 9, 9 o'clock, I'm going to go do my wind down routine, I'm going to get my book out and make my cup of tea. Perfect, that's fine. It's to signal to your body that now screens are away. In the morning, when you wake up, usually your body is signaled to wake up because it's getting lighter. Ideally, what you want to do is sleep in the darkest room possible. So blinds down, curtains down. If you have a nice light in the passage for the children, that's great. I know some people love to have the curtain a little bit open so they can see when the sun rises. That's lovely if you have a lovely sleep routine. Otherwise, not great. So rather, let's have a pitch black room. When your alarm goes off for you to wake up in the morning, then open the curtains, absolutely. But the fact that sometimes the sun starts rising after 4 a.m., 4:30 a.m., and your wake up time is only 6:38 a.m. or 7, your brain is already starting to work hours before it even needs to. So remember that, the darker the room. Have you ever been to a hotel and you've slept over? Have you ever seen how thick the drapes are? The room is pitch black. That's the type of darkness that you're looking for. All right. So then also magnesium. If you can have a magnesium supplement, any time in the day is fine, but ideally an hour before bedtime. Magnesium is a wonderful, wonderful mineral that actually helps with the relaxation of your muscles. There are so many great things about magnesium. You can research it, but just have a capsule before bedtime is absolutely fabulous. Anything that is going to help you to sleep. Some foods are better than others. Turkey is great, bananas are great, even a bowl of oats is great, especially if you've got like some teenagers around, they're starving before bedtime. Oats is great. But you're going to try not to eat a couple of hours before you go and lie down. You want your digestion to be out of your stomach. So food out the stomach and in the digestive tract, not still in the stomach area when you go to sleep. Right. And then lastly, just breathing. Breathing is amazing. Deep breathing in and out. You can deep breathe anywhere around your house. You don't have to go outside. Clearly, fresh air is fabulous. But if you can just do it around your house, a little bit of deep breathing is great. After you finished reading your book, maybe you do a bit of journaling, put out your clothes for the next day. I don't know, take out the food to defrost for the next day. It's dinner. And all these things you can do just calmly and just doing some lovely breathing. If you, I can't remember what the app is called, but you actually can download, I think it's actually called Calm. And you can put your AirPods in. And while you're doing your last minute clean up, tidy up of things around the house, before you go to your room, you can do some deep breathing and listening just to calm your mind. It's absolutely fabulous. So the wind down routine is very important. So definitely the breathing, the writing a journal, reading your book, drinking your tea. Chamomile is also fabulous. Take your magnesium. Not many people bath anymore these days. I think it's more of a time constraint than anything. But if you have time on the weekends and you can give yourself the time from some lovely music, take your book with you if you want, and then have an Epsom salts bath. That is absolutely fabulous. It actually helps with your magnesium levels. So I know a lot of people don't like to bath because it's a waste of time, the water gets cold. But if you can give yourself a half an hour just to relax in a lovely Epsom salts bath, then do that. That's fabulous for your skin. It's fabulous for all the toxins to be released as well. All right. So the last few things I want to say is that the most important thing is to take care of yourself, and your body heals while it's sleeping. It's not really doing a lot of healing the rest of the time. So people that do fasting, from the time they start fasting in the evening all the way through to the next day, when your body hits that certain time of autophagy where the cells are now being repaired, obviously your body does this all the time, but with fasting, there's nothing else for it to do. There's no food for it to digest. So all the cells run around and get fixed, right? So ideally, that's what you want to do. You want to be able to, if you're going to, is to fast for a longer time, rest the body from eating or drinking so that it's got time to actually repair all of the cells. Now, for me, I'm very busy running my own business as well as looking after my kids. And I do find that sometimes I'm totally exhausted, even though sometimes I have a great sleep. I'm feeling absolutely exhausted. Now, one of the supplements that I take is brilliant. It actually has lion's mane in it. It's got alpina galanga in it. It's got sage. It's got a green coffee bean in it. Now, the green coffee bean means that it hasn't been roasted. So it's a lot better for you. It doesn't hold any kind of toxins compared to the normal coffee bean that you would maybe have that is roasted. It's also got lion's mane in it, and rhodiola. So all of that is absolutely brilliant for your brain health. Gives you a little bit of a boost, obviously because of the caffeine. But things like lion's mane and alpina galanga, it helps with anxiety. So just to reduce the stress. And I can't tell you how great it absolutely is. So in the mornings, I'll take mine. This one that I take is actually called Luminate. You just mix it in with your water. It's a powder. You just mix it in with the water. You can actually have this hot or cold. So it just depends on my mood of the moment. Stir it up. There we go. Stir it up and drink it down. It's got like a sort of like a cherry mango flavor. And as I said, this is brilliant for your gut health. It also helps to lower the inflammation. So if your gut is not inflamed, then obviously the digestion works better. Your body works better. The cells work better. Your metabolism works better. And for brain focus, this is absolutely brilliant. So remember, body health and rebooting your whole system is from top to toe. It's not one thing that you can do and then you're like cured. So you have to look after the whole of you. So you're looking after your hydration, you're looking after your sleep, you're looking after your stress, you're making sure you eat correctly, you're making sure to make that the foods that you eat are not processed, and so that the inflammation in your body is lower. You're doing a little bit of exercise every day, you're doing breathing. It's a whole body reboot, right? And having a few supplements added into your diet, like magnesium, like my Luminate, little things like that, even protein powders, things that you add in which are supporting your body is absolutely brilliant. Remember, our nutrients that we buy in the store or in your grocery store are not always full of all the nutrients that we need. And often we end up eating the same food, the same vegetable, the same fruit, and we don't get a wonderful variety. And that is also key, is to make sure that your gut and your microbiome are actually fed all the good variety of fruits and vegetables so that they can work better, so that you don't get bloating, so that you feel better, so that your brain is clear. Because remember, we said your brain and your gut are connected. So if your gut is not happy, your brain is not happy. Brain fog, your mental focus is not great. Anyway, I find that this Luminate is exactly what I need. The Luminate in the lion's mane in here, the rhodiola, alpina galanga in here, definitely help with mental focus. It lowers my anxiety, makes me feel okay. I don't feel as stressed. And obviously from the green coffee bean, I definitely get that little bit of caffeine kick. And that's brilliant. That's what I need in the morning. Anyway, ladies, that's all I have to say. But here's the thing. One, did you drink your 2 liters yesterday? If you did, let's hear in the comments. And today, this is your little daily do for you today. So what I'd like you to do is just show me one of your nighttime routine, wind down routines. Send me a picture of your book or your little corner where you're going to read your book. Send me a picture of your tea or whatever you've made to calm down for the evening. Whatever your wind down routine is, even if it is your pajamas or like your cozy blanket, let's send something into the group. Let's everybody else have a look and see what you're up to. And on that note, I want to wish you all a wonderful evening. Wherever you are in the world, have a fabulous day. And I will see you all tomorrow for day 6. My word, tomorrow's day 6. And tomorrow we're going to talk about strength training and movement. Very important as we age and get older. Okay, ladies, good night. See you later. Thank you.